What's going on, guys? Sean from Southwest Automotives, and today we've got this Audi RS6 Avant with us. We've done a short video the other day on Instagram, but we wanted to give this car a bit more time so we can run through the specs, the 4-litre V8 engine, and also some of the extra features that come with this car. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So then, guys, here we are in the Audi RS6 Avant C7, arguably one of the most successful, well, certainly one of the most successful Avant cars that Audi have ever made, and incredible power, fantastic torque, and yeah, just an all-round great performance car, really. I always say with these cars, as far as an estate is concerned, there's not really much out there as a comparison. Obviously, you do have the older V10 M5 Tourings, which were obviously a main competitor of the previous RS6s, but I think Audi really took off with this model, and subsequently it was one of the most successful cars they've ever made. And this 552 horsepower 4-litre twin turbocharged V8 with pretty much the same torque figures as well. So, you know, we're talking 550 foot-pounds of torque, which is basically 700 Newton meters, along with the 550 brake horsepower as well. Really gives you that all-round performance of an incredible car. Quite an interesting thing, and something which you don't really talk about, is it has got cylinder on demand technology, which basically shuts down half the cylinders. I just had it in 4-cylinder mode then, and we were getting an amazing 21.6 miles per gallon. So oh, you just sort of feel it knock in place sometimes. It's quite a funny feeling when it shuts down half the cylinders. But again, you know, it's not meant to be an economical car. But yeah, basically today we're heading over to the New Forest. We're going to get some further shots of the car while we're there, and we're going to talk about some of the additional features and obviously what you can expect from the channel moving forward. Some of you may have watched my RS4 content before. That car's now dead and gone, thank God. One of the worst cars I've ever bought, but we won't go into that. We're in a lovely RS6 today, a car that I've always dreamed of owning, and it's just fantastic to be able to work with these cars. Ultimately, it is for sale through the business, but yeah, as you know, I love cars, and it's always good to do a couple of videos on some of the more interesting stuff.
And also as well, isn't so the cylinder shut down, obviously that you said you're still getting only 30 miles per gallon.
Yeah.
I think from sort of knowledge when I used to work at Audi, the only reason they have that cylinder shut down is so they can avoid emissions.
Yeah.
It's the only way they can produce high-powered cars and still
fall within that criteria. Yeah. Because I think a bit of consumer advice. I think the annual tax on this is, I believe, £360 a year, which is clearly a lot less than some of the older, some of the older sort of V8 or V10 models, which, you know, will definitely be in that kind of £600 region now, which, you know, I mean, £600 a year in road tax, who wants to spend that, especially on an older performance car. But yeah, I mean, this car, I mean, we're on 23 miles per gallon now, so not too bad, I guess, for a 4-litre V8. Bit of power there.
There it is.
Oh, it does have it, this car. It has the little arrow to let you know which side the fuel cap's on. Some cars have it. Was it you that told me about that?
I was going to say,
stealing your advice, stealing your knowledge. Yeah. Funny how I've been around cars for years, and I only just learned that literally a year ago. That some cars have little arrows to let you know which side the fuel cap's on, and this one has it on the right. So, but if you know Audis, they're always on the right-hand side, the driver's side. So yeah. But it completely throws me off owning a dealership because I'm in different cars like every single day. And it's like the worst thing when you pull up to a fuel station, you're like, oh, which side's it on? So yeah, it's good to know.
Not quite.
A place where you're going to be very often if you buy one of these, I'll be honest with you. The price you pay for a bit of fun, eh? So here we are then, just arrived in the New Forest. Not really a better setting to do videos like this. We really like coming over here. It's not too far from the dealership, takes us about half an hour, and it's a lovely drive on the way over. So, moving our attention back to this RS6, if you watch the Instagram video that we done the other day, you'll notice we spoke about this particular colour. Now, this is an Audi exclusive colour. It's called Dark Mica Red, or Dark Red Mica, whichever way you want to say it. £2,500 optional extra, from factory. So really nice, unique colour. It looks quite dark at the moment because, as you can see, we've got overcast conditions today. But in the sunlight, this kind of looks more purple. It doesn't look red. I don't know why they called it Dark Mica Red. It baffles me because it doesn't look red at all in any light. Black styling pack from factory. So ultimately, you haven't got to worry about dechroming it because it's already been done. Really makes the car look more aggressive. Interesting fact about the boot as well, obviously being an estate car, 565 litre boot capacity, which, as you can see, I'm 6 foot, and should we try and close me in? Can you still hear me? Yeah, I'm definitely in here. Not really a better example, is there, of how you can demonstrate the size of an RS6 boot. But ultimately, as the saying goes, you can live in an RS6, but you can't race a house. With the seats down, the boot capacity increases to 1,600 litres or something like that. Definitely didn't Google it, by the way. You could probably move out your house with this car in a couple of runs. So realistically, as far as the practicality side of things is concerned, there isn't really much else in the market that will keep up with this car and also allow you to, fill the boot up to that kind of level. So here we are at the business end of this Audi RS6. As you can see, we've got this lovely 4-litre V8 TFSI. 552 brake horsepower with about the same foot-pounds of torque. This car will do 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds with obviously a limited top speed of 155. The performance model does have around 600 horsepower, but it only shaves off about 0.2 of a second when you're accelerating from 0 to 60. So arguably, is it even worth it? Would you even notice? I don't know, probably not. One thing I will mention about these cars, you've got a couple of high pressure fuel pumps here, one for each cylinder bank. They do suffer when they get to a certain age, so it's always worth checking if you are interested in buying one that the high pressure fuel pumps have been replaced, because if they haven't, you're probably looking at about £3,000 from Audi themselves. Obviously you could get it done by a specialist, would be a bit cheaper, but yeah, these cars aren't the cheapest to keep on the road, so it's very important to make sure that they've been well maintained throughout their life. Moving over to these brake discs, as you can see, they're not the smallest in the world. And after doing a bit of Googling, I discovered that these brake discs are 330 millimeters, which is 15 millimeters bigger than the average dinner plate. So you could actually eat your dinner off it. We were actually thinking of having the dogs, isn't it? If you don't mind, we just got distracted by the dogs. Whenever there's dogs around, cars become the second most important thing. Hello.
And yes.
That's got a cool little
side quest.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Love dogs. I've got a husky and an English bulldog myself, so literally every time I see a dog, I'm like, come here. So we'll just run through a few of the maintenance costs on this car. Now, clearly, we've got Michelin Pilot Sport 4Ss. They're 285 30 21, so they are a big tyre. So it's something to factor in when considering buying one of these cars. And we actually had a quick look online. You can get Nankangs for £165 a tyre, but please don't put Nankangs on an RS6. You want to be going for something premium. A Michelin Pilot Sport 4S is about £360 a tyre, so a full set is around £1,500. So if you're looking at buying one, it's definitely worth looking at the amount of tread that they've got left on the tyres. These ones have actually got a lot of tread left on each corner, so they don't need replacing for a long time. But you're probably going to go through a set fairly quickly. I mean, it's got 550 foot-pounds of torque, for God's sake. Of course you're going to go through tyres a bit quicker than you would do normally. Another thing we looked at as well are the costs of the discs and pads. A set of front discs, wait for it, £1,200, and the pads are another £400 on top of that. Now, of course, you might get a bit discount, you might know somebody in the trade, but for the majority of people, you're looking at £1,500 for front discs and pads, and also about the same again for a set of 4 tyres. They are the same size all round, because obviously it is a Quattro, so they're the same size on the back, same size on the front. So just a few things that's worth considering when you're looking at one of these cars, but ultimately, I mean, they're fantastic cars. They've got to be worth the money, right? So on that note, is it worth it? It's a 4-litre V8. It's a chain-driven engine, so you haven't got to worry about a cam belt interval. They are a sealed for life unit. Of course, you can have problems with timing chains, but they are very, very rare. So all I would recommend really, by the way, I'm not a mechanic, but I do know cars pretty well, and I do work very closely with the Volkswagen and Audi Group specialist. Drive Auto Works, thought I'd give them a quick shout out. But as long as you stay up to date with the oil servicing and the general inspection side of things, the maintenance costs on the engine aren't too drastic. As I say, the high pressure fuel pumps are something to be aware of, and it's always worth mentioning, just discussing on the tyres like we were before, and something that me and Lou actually agree with on this. When you're going to look at a car, make sure they haven't got mismatched tyres, make sure they've always been changed in a pair, and if you do see an RS6 with a Nankang tyre on, run a mile.
Take forever. This is the longest time.
Oh yeah, literally. Yeah, but now that's just the blind. All the way back. So here we are, sat in the cabin of the RS6 with the beautiful flat bottom steering wheel in front of me. Such a great piece in these cars. The additional spec, the panoramic roof, lovely. The head-up display, the carbon inlays, and also the blind spot monitoring. You've also got the drive select, so you can have it in comfort or dynamic. Something that I would like to know more about is how the dynamic suspension actually works, and it's something that I might explore in later videos. We might be adding some more, I suppose, you know, technical advice, and to give you guys an insight into how these systems work specifically, and also that beautiful sports exhaust. Thanks very much for watching. If you do like the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell to stay up to date with all of our videos. Also, if you're on Instagram, give us a follow, Southwest Automotive with an underscore at the end. Thanks for watching.